We have a look again. Just glance through Heckscher Ohlin theory. You already understands the absolute advantage theory. We have clear about the comparative advantage theory. And now, Heckscher and Ohlin, two authors in 1919, they questions about the Ricardo's theory. So they argue that comparative advantage arises from differences in national factor endowment. By factor endowment, they mean the extent to which country is endowed with resources as land, labor, and capital. So a nation basically have varying factors endowment, and different factor endowment explain different in factor costs. Okay, and then the Heckscher theory predicts that the country will export those goods that make intensive use of factors that are locally abundant, while at the same time they import goods that make intensive use of factors that are locally scarce. So this thing, I give example before, like USSR and Malaysia. We look here. So USSR is very good in producing fighter jet, and then Malaysia is good in producing palm oil. So because of factors endowment encourage Malaysia to produce more palm oil, and then the factors endowment which makes USSR more efficient is better. It means it's cheap for them to produce fighter jet, so that USSR produce fighter jet, Malaysia produce palm oil. Now we do trading as this thing already happened. Like MiG 29 is around 80s or 90s. We bought this MiG 29 from Russia. Okay, so I don't want to go further. Hopefully you understand what is Heckscher Ohlin theory about. Okay, we go to the Leontif paradox. Leontif paradox. Okay, so what's that actually? Why suddenly the Leontif paradox appeared? Okay, so no one's quite sure why we observe the learning paradox, but one possible explanation is that, okay, so the situation before that, we have look here first. Before that, okay, theorize that U.S. United States was relatively abundant in capital compared to the other nations. Okay, and it's supposed to be according to the Heckscher Ohlin theory, supposed to be, because factor endowment encourage U.S. to be exporter for all things. Okay, so basically what we call that here. Who disturbed me for a while? Message keep disturbing. Should turn off my handphone for a while. All right, we have a look here again. Uh, However, we look here. The U.S. would be an exporter of capital intensive. Capital intensive. Still remember what is capital intensive? Meaning that they use more machine. Well, labor intensive use more labor. Let's say in order to produce a car, Proton company use capital intensive because their machine more than 50%, around 60-70%, only 30% man. While if you look back to Rolls-Royce, okay, Ferrari, they are labor intensive. Why? Because they use more, okay, man-made, because Rolls-Royce and Ferrari are man-made, hand-made. It's not the manufacturing made. Okay, and then why this thing happen? Okay, in actual it's not happen like that, because why? They found that US export are less capital intensive than US import into products. Okay, now one possible explanation is that the United States has a special advantage in producing new products or goods and match innovative technology. The key word here is innovative technologies. US innovates the products, so such product will be less capital intensive than those whose technologies that had time to mature and become suitable for mass production. This US may be exporting goods that heavily use skilled labor and innovative independence. We take a look here, like computer software, okay, and importing the heavy manufacturing product that use a large amount of capital. Okay, take a look, like they develop Windows, they sell Windows. So Windows already how many billions sold all around the world. Okay, it's much more than their machine, their software, because the software actually is the labor intensive. It's not the capital intensive. So you clear about this. The assumption is like this: factor is endowment, or but it's happened differently. That's called as paradox. This is Leontif paradox. Okay, we have finished this part, and then we go to the PLC, product life cycle theory. Okay, for PLC, we have looked for a while. It's introduced by Raymond Venant, and we take here. Basically, the PLC is like this. Product will go through in 3 stages. First is new products, maturing, and standardized products. It's different from marketing PLC because marketing PLC is what we call that, some sorts like hold on. Okay, yeah, in marketing PLC, product life cycle, we call it, start with product development, growth, maturity, decline. That's for product itself. Okay, in marketing perspective. However, this is in IB perspective is different. I found that many students explains the marketing PLCs in the final, in the exam. Why it's supposed to be this? They just come up with 3 stages only: new products, maturing products, standardized products. So the green line is the production. Okay, the production is very high, the consumption is quite low. See here. However, it's increasing. The red line is consumption. So however, in developing countries, consumption is high while production is low. Production is more than, sorry, consumption is more than production. Production more than consumption. When this thing happen, they start to export to other developed nations. See, the excessive the export here. The consumption will be more. And at the same time, after a while, you see here, the country found that, okay, at certain stage, the what we call that, the production excessive, is excessive. Yeah, excessive, nearly excessive already. And they start to expand, because why? We look here, they start to expand to the other nations. Okay, but basically we have looked back again the explanation. But this is the diagram. I'm going to touch it back later. Before that, we have to look it here first. The PLC. What is PLC about? Okay, as the products mature both locations, because the products from what we call that, from this new just introduced until it become mature. Okay, both locations says optimal production location will change, affecting the flow and direction of the trade. Okay, the size and wealth of the US market gave US firms a strong incentive to develop new products. Okay, never mind, you read later. This is very simple. Yeah. Okay, again, I think it's time up because one slide's already 10 minutes. Okay, never mind. We continue in the next slide. I'll explain again the example in the next slide.